Sure shot, baby.
So, good day, everyone. We're here for another episode of the DVD show. So, for today, we have a former UP Fighting Maroon, and he's now going to play in the Japanese B.League as one of the 8 players, at least as of this recording, that has signed to Japan to play professionally and represent the country well. And I'll now welcome to the DVD show Javi Gomez de Leano. Thank you for joining me here on my podcast.
Hi everyone, and thanks again, Diego, for inviting me over your podcast. It's an honor to be one of your guests. Oh, yeah, I have a question. Is there
Sure.
how can I ito yeah, full screen. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. All
Yeah,
good.
so
All good.
thank you for joining me here again, Javi. And I wanted to ask, how have you been doing so far? Like with the whole quarantine here, it's still what MECQ until September 16th, and you're gonna go to Japan in a few days. How has life been for you?
Well, it's been I'm blessed na rin, I'm with my family. We're all safe, and pero in the sense of, staying fit, staying in the condition, it's hard because, you can't play 5-on-5s. You just have to work out, with limited, probably like six of you guys, and or even sometimes you just have to go shooting on your own because, the protocols that we have here in the country, it's really hard. And, lucky enough that we have a gym at home, so that helps me to stay in shape before I leave to Japan.
How has your workout been this whole pandemic? Like, what have you improved on? Since you said you have like a gym on your house and you're able to do like a bit of workouts. I see like on your IG stories, you guys are able to play, but not 5-on-5. Like you have like a trainer that you guys go to constantly. So, what are the parts of your maybe your body or your game that you've improved on a lot this whole pandemic?
Yeah. In terms of my body, uh, I've learned to appreciate more being on a diet. It really helped me improve my game. I felt much faster since the start of pandemic, no, because before I was really the player who didn't believe in those, a diet and caloric deficit. I thought that if you work out a lot in the gym, that'll be enough. But it's really important to take care of your physical health by watching what you eat. And so yun, I disciplined myself in that aspect. And in the basketball side, um, I've been working out on my ball handling because, later on in my career, I plan to play point guard, and I need to have a better handle package, to be playing in those top levels. And at my height, around 6'5", I really have no choice but to play as a point guard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you mentioned about the diet, and that's pretty rampant now. Like a lot of the basketball athletes, they really follow a diet, whether locally or internationally. So, what has been your diet like? Like, do you have a nutritionist to guide you with your diet, and how do they maintain like the certain type of body or strength of your body that you want for the coming season in Japan?
Yeah, in terms of my diet, I was just on a caloric deficit. I didn't really restrict myself from eating whatever, but of course, I limited myself to eating sweets. And by the I've been asking advice from Coach Tim Nutrition. He's been our
Mm.
nutritionist at UP since 2019. But later on, I decided to go on my own since I am from College of Human Kinetics. I just graduated last semester, so
Congrats, congrats.
with the knowledge that I learned in school, I just applied it to myself, and hopefully, it worked. So the hard part now here is just maintaining it, maintaining your playing weight, and especially now that you know lockdown na naman,
Mm.
we really have to be careful and be healthy at all times.
Yeah. Before I move on to the stint that you'll have in Japan, I wanted to ask, what's like the biggest lesson or a few lessons that this pandemic has taught you, whether basketball related or life related, that really stuck to you, even if it's what 1.5 years na sa stuck tayo sa
Yeah.
bahay.
Probably what I learned is, you know, anything can go away and it's not. Like
Mm-hmm.
we didn't expect the pandemic to blow up like this. So I remember no March 2020. Um, that's the first time like a lockdown, diba? So everyone thought it was just gonna be a 2 week thing, but later on became like a 3 month thing, and those 3 months was really tough for me, and I think for everyone. And as basketball players, we couldn't play basketball. The courts were taken away. Like in our village
Mm-hmm.
here, the courts are closed till now. So, well, once it's over, I told myself I shouldn't take these things for granted, and be grateful with the things that you have right now. And I'm really grateful that this pandemic I got to spend more time with my family, and I got to learn more about myself since I would often have free time. So
Mm-hmm.
I learn new things, cooking, baking, dancing. Yeah, those
Wow.
simple stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned nga na there's a lot to be thankful for, like here in this pandemic. Like also me, when I realize it, like at night when you think about it, like wow, a lot of people are struggling, and then even if you can't see your other family members or friends, it's still like you still should be grateful for what you have and what you're getting. And moving on to your stint in Japan, that's really one of the things that you'll be thankful for, as being one of the Filipinos that were blessed to have that opportunity to play abroad and showcase your skills at that level. So what was the process like when you first were receiving offers for Japan? Like, because you were playing for Gilas, I believe, and then that was when you
Yeah,
got that was when you finally announced that you will play in Japan after like a few weeks or a month maybe. So how was the process like in Japan? Like, were they getting you before pa tapos you accepted it after Gilas lang? How was it like for you?
it's been a long coming actually. They've Teams have been getting me in one since last year.
Oh,
Kasabay
okay.
actually with 30 teams, but we had an issue about our citizenship. Me and one are
Oh, okay.
dual
Yeah.
citizenships. We're also half Spanish. So at that
Mm-hmm.
time, the league didn't consider us as Asian imports. Not until actually uh, when one signed with this B2 team, that
Mm-hmm.
B2 team was able to help one uh, enter the league and consider him as Asian import. And actually, that was the one that opened doors to all the half Filipinos who are
Mm-hmm.
considered as Asian import, like probably Dwight. Dwight is half Filipino, like Bobby
Yeah.
Ray. So that I think that move one. Yeah, I'm really thankful that one got that offer because yun yung nagsimula ng mga to open
Mm.
doors for still foreign players as Asian imports in the B League.
Yes.
So ayun, we've been waiting for like almost a year for that opportunity, and gratefully that this year it finally came to us, and di namin nagdalawang isip, we got the offer.
Yung mga teams ba that went for you, were there numerous teams that went for you? And if ever, yes, why did you choose Ibaraki Robots? I believe that's how you pronounce it. Why did you choose
Yes.
that team?
Well, you could feel pala if the team wants you because first of all, Ibaraki was the first one that came to me and my agent discussing the potential and signing me in, and then the other teams were like um they just said that they wanted to get me, and they already offered like this amount right away in the contract without even handling a meeting, because I think that time it was already June, so I think teams are in a rush to finding an
Uh,
Asian. So like three teams were just telling me, "Oh, sign with us already. Like this, we'll offer you this, like that." But
mm,
for Ibaraki, they held a meeting actually with they were complete, the owner, the president,
mm,
head coach, the management. So they all took some time of theirs just to meet me, and ako talaga, I value relationships with people more than anything more.
oo.
So After that meeting, I told myself, like, di na ako maghahanap ng iba. I'm happy with what I heard and what they have and what they have in store for me. So, ayun, that's how I chose Ibaraki.
So yung team naman, syempre hindi ako masyadong familiar with the composition of the team, even yung mga ibang mga kalaban nyo. Pero for you, syempre you kind of know like the coaches already and some of your teammates at least by name, or if you search them online, you could see their games already or highlights. So what do you think will be the strength of your team naman entering the season amongst all the other opponents?
Um, yeah, we're more motivated. We're for surely the underdogs because our team came from we were at Division 2 last year, and
Uh,
we were leveled up because we went into the finals. So
uh,
we have this underdog mentality coming into the next season, and all of us are playing with extra motivation. We want to
mm,
show the world, the league, that we belong in B1, and we can play with the big teams as well. And yeah, and that gives us really confidence. We'd have team meetings, and that's what our coach would always emphasize us, that we should always be motivated. And now that we're here, let's prove that we belong here.
Yeah. You mentioned also that playing in Japan, like it was a great way for you to also value your relationships with these teams, because you picked the one with the great one for you, the how they plan talking to you and how they talk to you properly and all these things. But then how do you feel you'll adjust naman to the team, syempre, and then the culture, the country and everything? Syempre wala ka pa doon, but then how do you feel you'll be independent na, kasi like here sanay ka nga na close ka sa family mo and all these things. Pero for you, how do you feel you'll be able to adjust living alone?
Well, it's hard actually. I've been talking to one, and one's been talking to me about his experiences. The first 2 weeks are tough, and then well, it's really life changing. Like for Kamini
Mm.
one, we're not used to cooking. We're not used to
Mm.
basically living alone. So now that he's been there for a month, he told me it's not as big as you think it is. Like yes, you will adjust, but later on you'll enjoy it. Then it's
Mm.
fun to try out new things, and like one will be there in Japan, so I don't think I'll feel really that lonely. And my family's here, just one call away. So yeah, I mean, right now I'm not really worried. Pero siguro
Yeah.
when I siguro masasepangs ako or something. Pero
Oh.
malapit na season eh.
It,
I don't think I can think about that much. I have to be really mentally prepared for the coming season. So yeah.
yeah, for sure yan. Kasi yung family nga, I think when you talk to your dad, ang dami niyang sinasabi kung gaano kayo ka-close ever since bata kayo. So talagang, it's a really huge change. Pero I think your parents prepared you guys naman for something like this. Not, you pounce on the opportunity when it comes. Lalo na ngayon, pandemic. Na not everyone has this opportunity talaga to even play basketball na in Japan na solid na maraming games, may mga preseason games pa. Pero yung isa pang question is, how long's your contract there? Like, do you plan to play there pa rin for the next years? What's your, what do you want to happen in terms of playing in Japan, or do you plan to play in the PBA? What's your plans naman?
Ayun, so my contract there is 1 year. I think that's how it is for as your first time playing as an import playing for the first time in that team. And of course my goal is to have a long-term contract there, like what 30 got. So that's my goal for this season, of course, is to play well and stay away from injuries. And then hopefully afterwards, I can get that contract extension for I don't know 2 to 3 years.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, my goal basically is just to uh reach my full potential, because I don't really
Mm.
mind where I'll be around the world for the next years, because I should really want to play abroad and hopefully play in my uh mother country, and I mean my family roots in Spain.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. And then you mentioned PBA, of course. I also want to play there too in the future.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, but only time can tell when. It doesn't really matter, honestly. I mean, I just want to play
Mhm.
basketball, and wherever life takes me, that's where I'll be.
Yeah, that's a great mindset to have. And syempre, like sila 3D rin naman, they wanna play in the PBA eventually, pero hindi naman kailangan magmadali. Like, it's always there for you guys. Then you'll be able to have the chance to still play, still get drafted with a team, with any team that you will also play well for sure. But then for now, since
Yeah.
nandito na yung Japan offer, di ba, parang ba't mo papakawalan pa, di ba? It's a different opportunity that other PBA players or basketball players in the country really don't have. But then you mentioned also a lot of your parent stories about your parents, your siblings, and yung upbringing and childhood. Kasi yun yung magandang pinag-uusapan ko rin here on my podcast with other guests. So for you, since I also guested your dad before, he mentioned a lot of great things about your family. I wanted to ask, like, was basketball already your first love as a child, or did you try other things first before falling in love with basketball? Because I'm pretty sure you guys were you had a chance to try out other things also because your dad was a swimmer, I believe, when he was younger.
Yeah. Yes, basketball was one of our first loves actually. We loved a lot of sports. Kasi our dad really trained us to be like multi-athlete. You know, we were triathletes, we were swimmers, we were basketball players. Uh, we were like also like sprinters, like track and field
Mm-hmm.
sports. So we really tried a lot of sports growing up, and you know, due to the influence of environment, we chose to play basketball.
Oh, okay.
So yun, then and we loved it ever since. We felt like we can make a living out of this.
How about as a child? What was the environment the major factor in why you chose basketball over the other sports? Since track and field's also fun, swimming is
Yeah,
also fun, but then basketball, syempre number one sport yan dito. Like wherever you go, syempre kahit sa village mo siguro or like pag lumabas ka ng village mo may nagba-basketball dyan kung normal conditions kung walang pandemic. What was really the major factor and why you chose basketball over the other sports?
yeah. Of course, like what I said, environment. We
Hmm.
used to live in front of the village court, since likod lang ng bahay namin was the court. So and all our friends really played basketball, and even the older neighbors,
Mhm.
nakikisali kami. And ayun, nung elementary then we were part of the varsity team in Ateneo. So it was really, it was the science that told us to choose the basketball path. But all,
After,
we
sorry, go
enjoyed
ahead.
all sports, but it was just really basketball for us.
Yeah, I like it also that your dad mentioned that he gave you guys the freedom to actually like do all these things. Like he didn't instruct you to do this, do that. Because syempre, mahirap yun pag siya yung nagsasabi kung anong gagawin nyo. Because he could easily do that as your parents, but then he gave you the freedom to find your own passion in basketball. And you mentioned nga you were in Ateneo for grade school. What was the story like on for your high school naman, like from grade school to high school? How was the process like for your basketball career?
For my basketball career, so after grade school, I actually transferred to Paref Northfield naman dito sa QC,
Mm, yeah,
because
yeah.
my parents were alumni from UANP.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, like I started to doubt myself because our school, I mean Northfield's really not known for the
Yeah,
sports
yeah,
yet. It's a good
yeah,
school. I really enjoyed it there. Pero,
yeah.
diba, because but compared to other UAP schools, syempre
Mm-mm.
malayo eh.
Oh,
So,
malayo.
during my first year doon sa Northfield, I was enjoying as a regular student, hanging out with my friends,
Mm-mm.
in mga high school events.
Mm-mm.
So, I thought, I told myself, baka this is what's meant for me na lang ba? Parang, I'll just play basketball as a recreational sport. Kasi,
Mm-mm.
if I told myself, if I stay in Northfield for the next 4 years, I don't know how I'm gonna make it to the college basketball and even pros, diba? Kasi
Yes.
the platform is not that big compared to UAP juniors. So, well, I was just enjoying until one time we got this opportunity by our neighbor, his name's King Ferrer, to try out for the UP high school team under Coach Alan Gregorio. So,
Yeah, yeah.
eventually nun, we just tried out for fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, ayun, then I did expect to make the team. Because that time si Joe and Juan, super athletic na sila, dumadakdak din sila. I was really different from both of them.
Mm.
Pero, yeah, siguro nasama na lang ako. So yun, ever since then, that really changed the direction of what I thought I was gonna be in terms of my basketball career. So yeah, ever since transferring to UPIs, that changed my career.
Yeah, you mentioned nga that you were from a Parif school in Northfield for a few years, and I also came from a Parif school. So before I ask like basketball related questions about UP and all the other experiences that you had, I wanted to ask
Yeah.
ano yung mga tumatak sa isip mo na Parif like culture or environment or tradition na talagang hanggang ngayon you still treasure it kasi yeah, syempre yung
Of
Parif
course,
I know like how the school works and how they run it. Pero Southridge, pero it's kind of similar pa din. And yun nga, sa
yes.
sports, medyo mahina ka rin kami. Like, we don't win against, when we play an MMBL or like Paya, we don't win anything. So, I can relate to what you were saying. So, what stuck to you for for your few years that you were in Paref Northfield?
So coming to actually no grade school kasi I was really like the shy introvert guy. I
Mm.
didn't have a lot of friends in Ateneo. Uh,
Okay.
I was a late bloomer. Then when I studied in Northfield, that I made a lot of friends. It made me enjoy the high school life aside from basketball. Kasi when I was in Northfield, my life was like everything but basketball. Hanging
Mm.
out with friends, being a
Mm.
like a normal high school guy. It was really fun. And the education system, like saludo talaga ako. Like I learned a lot
Solid.
there.
Yeah.
We have Latin class. We
Yeah.
value really value the what's the name, CLE or religion. Yeah, we
Oh,
call it.
yeah.
Ayun, the core values ba as a person really
Mm.
that helped me. Even now I brought it with me, the values from what I learned in Northfield. So I'm also grateful that my parents placed me there. Say, you know, I'd want to study there. I mean, you know, like if my future kids, I'd like to enroll them like in elementary or something to
Mm-hmm.
experience them the Parif way. So I mean, yeah, same. You know how Parif is.
Mm.
A lot of
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, in terms of sports, well, you know, for sure later on magde-develop rin yan yung sports ng Parif. Well, but yeah, it just take time. I really believe that schools will progress. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree definitely with the values part that you said because syempre pag nag-college na or yun nga, pag lumipat ka na ng high school, and you're already in the outside world, so it's up to you kung ano yung gagawin mo. Like may mga temptations or may mga vices that you can do but then kung solid yung core values mo, then yun, pag nagka-family ka na, nagka-anak ka na, yun yung matuturo mo sa kanila. And I believe that's great also. That's why I also commend Paref. Like, yeah, yun nga, sa sports, medyo mahina kami. But then, yung other aspects naman, that's what they excel in
Yeah.
and not other schools really have that. So it's still really a great
Exactly.
experience for me, even if there are some negative aspects rin naman in terms of, like, kunwari, if I went to Zobel, medyo mas magaling yung basketball team nila. Pero, syempre, yung Southridge naman, they excel in other aspects of it. So, yun yung parang difference lang naman in Paref way of teaching. Like, I didn't really expect that because I used to be from a Montessori school in grade school. And parang nagulat rin ako when it was in Southridge that they value yun, yung mga religion a lot. And before, di naman ako, like, I don't really give much importance to all those, like, yan, yung mga virtues, like how you can apply it in life. I think for you,
Yeah.
it's really great. Nakikita ko naman from the outside looking in that you're able to apply it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You mentioned that it was a tough time for you also in Northfield. You were doubting yourself also if you could still play basketball at a high level like UAAP juniors or even seniors.
Yeah.
But then you still strive for excellence and still trying on. You had the opportunity to try out in UP and then eventually played for the Fighting Maroons in the seniors division. Pero for that part where you were struggling, what kept you going and what kept you on the right track? Was it like your friends, your family, your own self reflection? What was it?
Well, siguro my brother's influence then kasi I told myself during my first year, I was still hoping kasi
Mm.
I really wanted to play basketball during my first year in Paris. Kasi we'd have leagues, yung mga AAPs.
Mm.
Yung problem with Paris is that there's only one team in high school. So, as the being the freshie, I really didn't have playing time. Sobrang bangko ako dun eh. So that made me more parang demoralized. Parang,
Oo.
shit, maybe, maybe basketball's not meant for me.
Mhm.
Pero, wala, I mean, every day pa rin after class, we'd still play with my bros and with some friends. Na-enjoy ko pa rin eh. So, I was still keeping that small hope for me to continue basketball. And then si Juan got offers from Ateneo and UP. Then he told me, wherever he goes, maybe I can just go along with him. Ayun, so kasi when he got into UP, I mean, sumunod na rin ako. And
Ah,
ayun, we just really, my brothers, they really helped me out. And we always, uh, you know, sharpen each other, help each other get better. Yeah,
mm.
till now, that's our
Yeah.
mentality.
Oh, for sure nga nakikita ko na close talaga kayo even as brothers. Like normally pag siblings, medyo hindi masyadong close. Like I have friends I know na hindi masyadong close yung sibling relationship nila. Pero kayo, I could see that close talaga kayo and you motivate each other to get better. Pero for you, ano naman yung talagang aspect na made you stand out in your tryout for UP? Kasi sabi mo nga, you came from Northfield. So, syempre, parang sila, what's that siguro? So, sa dami ng mga nagta-tryout. Pero for you, ano sa tingin mo yung factor kung bakit ka natanggap sa team?
Wala, to be honest with you, wala talaga eh. Parang I was considered tall that time. I was like around 6'3". It's a
Mm.
UPIS team namin, sobrang small ball kami. I would play center and power forward. So, parang, it's like a no-brainer. They just, siguro, inisip lang nila, let's just get this tall dude just to add height to the front court of our team. And that time, kasi seniors namin, sila Diego Dario,
Oh, okay,
sila
yeah.
Jelly, like, sabay mag-graduate mga seniors namin eh. So,
Mm.
that time, wala nang, konti na lang yung bigs natitira. So, they got me for my height. And, yun lang. I mean, I wasn't really developed that time. Later on na lang ako nag-develop ng mga skills ko.
Mm. So yung yun nga, naging UP ka rin nung college and I think you played 2 years ka ba or 1 year lang sa high school? I
Two
think
years.
2 years, yeah. 2 years ka sa high school. And syempre, you played well and excelled well, kaya ka natanggap din dun sa college basketball team. Pero dun sa 2 years mo sa high school, ano yung pinaka mga natutunan mo about your game or about your teammates or coaches din na nadala mo sa college and even now na professional ka?
Um, what I learned is, siguro kasi nung third year, I started to realize na, our team lacked a leader,
Mm.
if someone to carry the team. Well, it was si Juan dapat eh. Kaso nung first playing year ko, when I was third year and he was second year, he fractured his wrist. So someone had to step up from the team. So, I decided that, when an opportunity comes to arise, I mean, for the role players to step up for a bigger role, I took it. I had to work for that. Then, every training, uh, I had to push myself every day. Then, luckily, after that season, I was top 7 in the MVP race.
Mm.
You know, dapat nga mythical 5 kaso kasi yung point system sa mythical 5 kasi the more wins you have, may bonus points yun eh. Kami that season, we only had 2 wins. So imagine,
Kaya
players
pala,
from
okay.
Ateneo, players from the
Mm.
NU, the ones who were really strong, they won a lot of games. So, that
Yeah.
helped stats. But yeah, I wasn't after the stats. It was just really, I wanted to lead the team. But, as a first timer talaga, walang hirap talaga compared to other schools. They're
Mm.
more prepared. Their players are more equipped. But yeah, during that time, we didn't really, kahit tinatambakan kami, hindi kami
Mm.
nawawalan ng gana. We would enjoy pa rin kami kahit natatalo
Mm.
kasi we know we did our best.
Kamusta naman yung pagiging leader mo? Like, syempre, hindi ka pa parang masyadong mature nun or experience kasi high school ka pa lang. Like, you weren't in college yet or in the pros. Pero you were able to step up already and become a leader for the team. And what kind of a leader are you? I'm curious lang, like, do you lead by example or are you a vocal leader? How did you lead that squad for for those seasons?
To be honest, during those times, uh, I honestly, I would say that I did bad as a leader because nung high school talaga, I wasn't that vocal. I was still a bit
Mm.
shy communicating with others. I was shy in terms of correcting someone. Pero later on na lang, it was during my Gila stint with Coach Tab. He really helped me become vocal and to be more, you know, uh, trust yourself, trust your gut. If you think this is right, tell them. I really learned and I appreciate
Mm.
communicating leader. That's what Coach Tab teaches everyone naman's team. To everyone can be leaders.
Mhm.
So yeah, nung high school talaga, I think I did a bad job being a leader because I wasn't ready for it. Like what I told you, coming from
Yeah.
Paris, I wasn't ready for the moment.
Mm.
But
Pero you, sige, go
yeah,
ahead.
I mean, later on in my career, like right now, I could say that I'm much different from who I was before. I think I'm a better player and a better leader now. Um, Eventually, if I didn't play in if the Japan B.League wasn't supposed to I mean kung walang opportunity sa akin sa B-League, I would have been the team captain of the UP MBT.
Yeah, oo.
Pero yeah, anyways.
Yeah, you mentioned nga na talagang hindi ka masyadong ready for high school. Pero in college, yun yung naging parang ano mo, yung first rookie year mo, yun yung parang naging role mo na hindi ka masyadong pinapasok ng mas matagal pa kasi rookie ka pa lang. Pero pag pinasok ka, you were able to contribute. Like maybe not in the stat sheet, but if you watch the game, like I think isang game Lasal yata kalaban yun nun with sila Ben and Bala. And then
Yeah.
I saw you play really well. I was there in Araneta at that time and parang pinasok ka second half lang and then dahil mong
Yo,
nagawa compared.
I
Yes,
scored
sorry.
like 12 points in the second half.
Yeah,
Imagine kung
naalala ko
40
yun.
ako pinasok. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, I was there in Araneta kasi and sabi ko, Lasal's gonna beat UP for sure. Like, Embala's there. And then you have no one to guard Embala. Tapos nahirapan hanggang fourth quarter, close game. And then nung pinasok ka pa, parang yun nga, nakascore ka ng 12 points in the second half. I was like, ang galing
Yeah.
pala nito, ba't hindi siya pinapalaro? Parang ganun. That's what I thought of at first. Kasi hindi naman, I don't watch like juniors basketball a lot, pero I heard your name na. So I was like wondering about di ka pinapalaro. And then when they made you play, I was like, grabe, ready siya talaga mag-contribute kahit offense, defense, hustle, everything.
Yeah.
So, how did you have that mentality naman na talagang parang ready ka lang kahit kailan, like kahit 5 minutes lang yung playing time mo, but then you're able to do so many things on the floor?
Ayun, bro. Like what I said sa high school, I failed uh I failed at that moment being the leader because I wasn't prepared. So ever
Mm.
since that time talaga, I told myself I also have to be ready for an opportunity to come. And ayun nga, like what's that term? If you fail to prepare, then
Mm.
prepare to fail. So
Mm.
that mentality I brought to me in college because I didn't know what was getting into me. I didn't know kung gagamitin ba ako or ibabang ko. But yeah, during my first year, I wasn't used much. But ayun, so it didn't matter what quarter I entered, whether it be third or fourth. All I know is once I get that opportunity to play in the court, I'm gonna give my all. And yeah, during my rookie year, even though I played uh I only played 9 minutes per game, but I scored like seven.
Di
And
ba? Yun nga eh.
I was second. Actually, I was
Yeah.
second in rookie of the year race.
Yeah, see?
Pero
Ang galing eh.
I was just being ready and being
Mm.
efficient with the minutes that I have. Parang that time, as a rookie, parang I told myself I can't complain. I can't complain with the minutes that I get, whether it be five
Mm.
minutes, 15. Pinasok na lang ako. I'll just show them
Mm.
what I can.
Mm.
Yun lang.
Yeah. Alam ko rin like sa UP, syempre nung pagpasok mo medyo mahirap dahil they've been known to lose a lot of games. Palagi silang pinagtatawanan na 0-14, ganun. Basta
Yeah.
pangit yung record nila for sure. And mahirap talaga yun. Like as a player, gusto mo palagi manalo ka kahit madaming players talaga gusto manalo rather than scoring 25 to 30 a game. They'd rather win a championship. I mean, that's like the cliche answer that others would have. So for you, how did you take losing? Like I also asked Sean Ildefonso this when I recorded with him last week. Kasi NU, di ba, parang like last year, ang galing nila pero natatalo sila and they didn't have a great standing. Pero magaling siya. So for you, how did you accept naman losing in UP? Like how did you learn from it? Kasi towards the latter part of your UP stint, nagfa-Final Four na kayo. Nag-finals pa nga kayo nung season 81.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it was my motivation since high school to, to bring a championship to UP. But unfortunately, I didn't bring a championship to UP in high school. So, coming to college, talaga, I really told myself I'm gonna do everything what I can do, like what I can control to help change the culture in UP because I know what I was getting myself into. Coming off to college, I got there's some schools who showed interested, but why would I want to go to a syempre, biased ako. I'm from UPIS. So of course my first choice was UP. But let's say
Uh,
if I was from a different school, yung mindset ko is why would I go to a winning school already? With or without you, they're gonna win. So
uh,
I wanted to know my impact on the team. So I chose to go to UP. Of course, it's UP, pero also due to the fact that their program's not yet the best, and I want to help out the team, be on top. So and every game, that's really my mindset. Uh, yeah, whenever we lose, whenever I lose, I just forget. I just think about it during the night, and then the next day, forget about it and on to the next game.
mm.
Yeah.
Yun nga sinasabi mo na maganda yung mindset mo even with losing and the negativity happening kasi nga you still see the positive outlook of being with UP as a student and as a varsity player for them. Pero nung tough times ba, was there a time na talagang you doubted yourself even more, like more than you did nung high school? And were there people that really helped you, like maybe your parents also, that they say, "Diyan ka lang, like you'll find your time then, your opportunity then in UP eventually." So was there a time or juncture na ganun yung feeling mo?
Yeah, actually, my first 2 years, you know, my rookie year, actually, I really didn't expect, coming off high school, I was top three, mythical five
Mm.
in high school. So,
Mm.
alam mo yun, I, I felt like, usually naman lahat ng top recruits sa high school gagamitin sa college ball eh.
Mm.
So that's what I thought was gonna happen. But yeah, during my first year, I would always catch myself na lang natuwa nga sa bench, fourth quarter na di pa ako pinapasok. Those were my tough times.
Yeah.
Kasi I really didn't understand why di ako ginagamit, but I never question anyone. I
Mm.
always parang I should control na lang what I can control. Maybe I need to work harder. Maybe I need to play
Mm.
better defense. So you know, when struggles happen, I mean I put it all to myself. I don't put it on anyone else because you know it's our lives. We're accountable for that. We should be the one to fix our own problems, our own struggles. Then the
Mm.
second year, it was also tough because I thought that having my rookie year was tight. I was
Yeah.
hoping to level up my role, pero
Yeah.
it's still the same. So
Uh,
I was just being patient. And then the third year, I thought I was gonna level up, but same thing. And then in my fourth year, I thought I was ready. It's my time, but Kobe and Richie came in, which I was really happy because actually people, the coaches and the people were asking me how I'd feel if Kobe and Richie came in, and obviously the kaposition ko sila. Pero
mm.
I was really happy because I know both of them can help the team. And like I said, I'm always
Mm.
for the team. If it will help the team, then why not? So, all those years sacrificing for my role, it was really um like alam mo yun, like I didn't feel bad about it. No regrets.
Mm.
I learned a lot din
Oh.
from those years. I learned a lot, like to where I am now. If it because it was for those years that I learned and played, it really helped me as a player. It helped me grow. So yeah, I'm grateful then for my stay in UP. Even though that to some people it may seem na parang oh, Javi din di masyado kasing ginamit si Javi eh, ganyan, ganyan.
Oo.
I hear a lot like every day
Oo.
during those
Also
days.
for
I hear
me, I say that.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ako rin, pero,
Mm.
I try to see things in a positive note. Just being
Mm.
optimistic always.
Yeah, I like that mindset also kasi ganun din ako like syempre pag may sad thing na nangyari or unfortunate thing na nangyari, okay lang naman maging malungkot pero
Yeah,
wag be like malungkot na masyadong matagal. Parang you still need to be positive and then you know how to bounce back from it and learn from it. Parang ganun yung mas magandang mindset kasi everything in the world, like everything changes. Sometimes you anticipate it, sometimes you don't. But then it's really how you adapt, I guess. Like with the pandemic, nga you mentioned kanina how you were still able to adapt and adjust with your home workouts. Anything talaga, you can apply it naman eh. So maganda yung mindset mo na optimistic ka pa rin kahit yun nga, pumasok sila Kobe, si Richie, ganun. And you even if they were not there, pretty sure you would have played more minutes. And but then what if like the lessons you learned from them, hindi mo rin makukuha kung wala sila dun. Parang there's a balance to it. So that's
yeah,
great that
yeah,
you have that mindset talaga. But then
exactly.
you mentioned also that yung UP nga biglang gumaling na nung season 81, you guys with Coach Bo, I interviewed Coach Bo also, and I interviewed Diego Dario, some of the UP boys. That season 81 is really different for you guys. Coach Bo was like talking about like the culture he instilled in you na talagang pang long term. Even ngayon na wala na siya, parang feeling niya wala ka na rin pala sa UP. Feeling niya pwede pa rin mag tuloy-tuloy yung culture na in-instill niya and yung system na in-instill niya sa school. Pero for you, ano yung talagang mga dahilan kung bakit yung UP nag-succeed na nung season 81. And then of course, nung 82, you guys got the recruits like Kobe and Richie in order to continue the success.
I think it was because we were all in the same page, from coaches
Mm.
to players. You know, then nagsimula yung 16 strong. All of us accepted our roles that time, and we that time talaga we trusted one another. Like
Mm-hmm.
that time kasi Coach Bo was coaching, right? And si Juan yung Mythical 5 and Bright was
Oh,
the MVP.
yeah.
That was the time na, players like me, who else, like sila Paul,
Mm-hmm.
we had to, just trust the coaches, even though that means for us to take a back seat,
Mm-hmm.
that time talaga, um, really, we trusted one another, and that trust really came a long way to every game talaga, we were playing for each other, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and we were a family talaga. That's season 81. I think that was where the culture changed. It was because our entire team, our great seniors, our seniors also did a good job, guiding, our rookies, and then we were all in the same page on winning. We all had the same goal, and yeah, we did a good job. We were all so happy despite losing in the finals. Yeah,
Yeah, I like the mentality and the chemistry you guys had through the season. And lalo na nung mga close games, like Paul would hit those clutch shots. Like doon ko talaga
yeah.
na notice yung UP, like when you guys were able to beat UST with Paul's game winner. I was there in MOA because Lasal was second game, I
Adamson.
think. And, yeah, yung atin
We
to.
beat Adamson.
Adamson, yeah, you beat Adamson. Yeah, you beat Adamson also with the game winner. And yung second, also, he hit a game winner. There was a game winner in the first game and the second game of the Adamson. And talagang I was like, wow, this team's really something to watch out for sure. Kala ko nga na you guys had the chance to beat Ateneo kasi nga ang daming, yun, si Juan, si Paul, you, Bright, you guys were really good that whole season. So, kala ko ba pwedeng machambahan. Alam mo naman, like, even in the NBA, like, mga underdogs, like, even if people are saying, Ateneo na yan for sure. Like, sometimes I still want the underdogs to win talaga. Eh. So, kala ko may
Yeah.
chance kayo. Pero, sayang nga, kinulang lang kayo for that series. Pero in season 82, you guys got new recruits. So, how did the team continue that that the success that you guys had, even with two additional star players and you guys had other recruits also. Pero tuloy-tuloy
Yeah.
pa rin yung winning. Kasi syempre sabi mo nga 16 strong, pero yung 16 nag-iba na for the following year. So paano naman yun for the team?
Season 82 will always be like, I'll think of it of what if, because it was really a tough time for us. Since the summer, we never trained compete. It was either Kobe was injured, Juan was injured, Richie was injured, Bright was injured. So and we had a tough time going to preseason playing. We couldn't really form that chemistry because we were never complete. It was
Mm.
just um during that second game of our during the season 82 second game when Kobe made his debut. That was just the first time that we were complete. Pero that time, Juan was injured pa din. Like, he was
Mm.
just like 50%. So, sobrang sayang nun because I feel like that could have been the GOAT team if we were all healthy. Our Coach Bo did a great job. Kasi nung preseason, nung start of the preseason, we were all gelling well eh. We were enjoying,
Mm.
until the unfortunate injuries happened. So,
Mm.
it really, nahirapan kami. Like, nung season 82, even though that, you know, I think our record that time was 10-4. That was like the
Mm.
highest in UP for like years. 10
Mm.
wins, imagine. Pero, even though sa 10 wins na yun, hirap kami dun. Like,
Mm.
couldn't, uh, kasi our mindset talaga was to like dominate each team. As in,
Oh.
with our roster, we really, some called us super team. We really, alam mo yun, dapat talaga dominate namin, tampakan namin. Pero, some of those games were really close. So despite the outcome, I was really happy for that. I was happy to be part of that season 82 team. I think that team naman, we were all close, even more outside the court, kasi we had a lot of uh travels around the world, training camps. It really bonded us together. Pero yun nga, it was just really injuries, unfortunate, that stopped us from reaching our
Mm. Yeah, it was really an impressive performance pa rin nga despite the injuries. Like si Juan nung sinabi niya sa Call to Arms podcast when you were there also, when we were both there, he mentioned that he was injured pala majority of the season and I don't think I even remember that or I knew that. So talagang kaya pala yung laro niya medyo bumaba from the mythical 5 nung previous year. Kasi ang
Yeah,
lakas niya nung Adamson, nag 30 points siya nung Final Four na talagang sabi kong ibang klase to. Parang sophomore pa lang yata siya na he was already mythical 5 level. So what more in his next few years? Pero yun nga, nagka-pandemic, di na siya nakalaro and na-injure pala siya nung next season. So sayang lang talaga for you guys. Pero it's still impressive na despite all the star players, yung Coach Bo was able to make you guys gel well together as a team. Even if sinayang, sa dulo nga, na, sayang kasi hindi kayo nanalo sa UST for you guys. Pero it's still a great learning experience na talagang close kayo sa team. Pero how about the critics? Like the critics would say na wala namang system yung UP. Like you guys just play ISO ball kasi nga lahat ng superstars so nadadaan sa talent and skill. How would you like defend that point naman? Kasi syempre, for you, you're in the team. You know naman na hindi ganun lang yung ginagawa niyo. How would you
yeah.
like yes answer that?
To be honest, well, we have a play. Coach Bo and Coach Ricky, we train every day. We'd always run the plays. But, even Coach Bo said, um, sometimes the critics ain't wrong. Like, ISO ball, because look, we have Juan, Kobe, Richie, June,
Mm.
Manzo, JD Tungkab, and a lot. I mean,
Mm.
with those bunch of talents, like, of course, advantage yung, I mean, ISO ball yun, I mean, that's their strength. So,
Uh,
it's really going to the strengths of our players, which is good. Which is a
mm.
good thing. We ISO like we get to score a lot on that. So,
Mm.
you know, it helped us then. But sometimes there were plays na parang pilit,
Mm.
but it was controllable. It was still revolving around the system of Coach Bo, Coach Ricky. and Coach Ronnie Magsano. Yeah,
Mm.
we had a lot of good plays. I mean, that's why we're ranked two in the eliminations for a reason because we did a good job with our scheme, with our offensive and defensive scheme. So yun,
Mm.
yeah, ISO ball was really what we did. It's just a part of what we did.
Yeah, you mentioned nga rin in a lot of other interviews na yung success mo rin as a basketball players and individual started when you shifted to like a 2 or a 3 because before did make you play the 4 and you weren't as comfortable as playing that because yung laro mo shooter ganun. So pang shooting
Yeah.
guard small forward talaga and medyo nga hindi hiyang sa 4. Pero kailan yung time na talagang the coaches and also you put it on yourself to play the 2 and the 3? Kasi yung like kunwari FEU game yung season 82 nag-breakout ka nun, scored 22 yata. Parang iba na talaga yung laro mo nun. Like when I was watching it, I was like, parang nag-improve na talaga to ng off-season. First game pa lang ng season 82. Iba na yung game mo nun. So how did you have that mindset?
Well, it wasn't the coaches. It was all me, honestly, because
Oh, okay.
coming from high school in my third year, I was a double machine. I
Mm.
was like a Dennis Rodman in that time.
Uh,
Honestly, I scored 10 points, 12 rebounds per game, and then uh, my fourth year in high school, my numbers also went up. I scored 15.7 points per game, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Then heading into college, like during our team trainings, I started to realize, bakit di ko na magagawa yung mga ginagawa ko dati? Kasi I started off playing quattro ako sa
mm.
college. Sometimes pa nga, since our small ball kami, so we had a lot of guards.
Mm.
Pag papasok yung mga ibang gwardiya, minsan nag-three guard kami, sometimes napapasingko pa nga ako. So, in those times talaga parang I felt useless because
Mm.
I didn't have an advantage over who were my teammates that time. Like we had Jello Vito, for example. He was one of
Mhm.
our veteran bigs. He'd always lagi ako napapaya sa poste dun because he was much bigger than me.
Yeah, he's
And
big. Yeah.
yes, Andrew Harris,
Yeah.
Noah Webb. That guy was
Mm.
athletic. He's an
Mm.
athletic guy. Nahirapan ako sa kanila because they were faster, stronger. So, parang that time talaga, I told myself, I need to add more weapons in my bag. I can no longer, stay in this position because parang wala, I'll be useless in the team. I won't be effective in that position playing four. So, a little, it was a yearly process. So during my first year, my off season heading into college, I told myself I need to start shooting threes, like being a pick and pop guy, so that I can stay outside the paint and space the floor well. So I focused on that, being a pick and pop in first year. Kasi sakto that time, um, our team didn't have a pick and pop aside from Jelovito. So I'll be the backup pick and pop big, and then third year, I wanted to add like a scoring ability to be a slasher. So when I
Mm.
receive the ball from the 3 point line, it's like little by little I add up
Yeah.
skills that I need to have so that
Mm.
I can improve my game.
Yeah, I like that mindset that you have because not all the players have that na continuous improvement. Like now si Shaq and Charles Barkley, kine-criticize nila si Ben Simmons na hindi nga daw nag-improve ever since he entered the league. So parang ikaw, like in the UAP level, from the beginning until like you finally played your last game as a UP Fighting Maroon, mahahalata mo yung huge strides that you took in your game and you could bring that mentality also in the professional level and talagang magiging integral yun talaga sa success mo as a athlete in the long run. And it's really also great to point out that you were also effective in terms of your game, like with your shooting and slashing. Was it also a credit to better basketball? I think you joined that in some part of your college career, and did they really help with your growth as a player?
Oh yeah, for sure. Coach Pat from Better Basketball.
Mm.
He helped me basically. He was there to guide me because it was my
Mm.
ideas. So I was telling him I need to improve in this and that. So, he helped me. We worked out together. So yeah, he is a big help to my career, like to my college career in UP. He helped me, achieve my personal goals as a player. Yeah. So shout out, Coach Pat.
Yeah. He agree. I hear a lot of great things about him also. Like his episode with Mikey Reyes, like the way he talks to his players, parang sobrang solid yung turo niya, and yung mga clients din niya, like you guys are really doing well naman in your own careers. Pero yung curious ako is the UST game. Like right after you guys lost, you and Juan said that you wouldn't play muna for the UP Fighting Maroons kung nagkaroon ng following season. And people, syempre kung alam mo naman yung Filipinos, like on social media, pag nagsabi kayo ng ganun, they
Uh,
they have their own assertions and assumptions on why you did it. But for you, you guys signed with played with Mighty Sports after. I think you played like two
yeah,
games or one game with Marinerong Filipino in the D-League, and then you played also. You were gonna play for Nueva Ecija, and then you played for Gilas eventually. So, yung decision yun muna not to play for UP, was it more of yun nga prioritizing those other leagues because you could get more exposure since wala pa namang
yeah.
UAAP season nun? So what was like the mindset for both of you guys for that portion of your career?
Well, me and Juan have different mindsets. So I mean, I don't know what what his mindset was, but for me, it was all, you know, uh, towards winning a championship for UP. So after my fourth year stint, I was really disappointed with my performance. Parang, I felt like I need to work harder for next season, and I don't think like an off season really. Uh, I think it might be parang kulang pa for me. Parang I felt like I need to get more exposure and experience outside. So my initial thought talaga was playing for Mighty Sports, also playing for Nueva and also Gilas, because
Mm.
those three platforms will really help me grow as a player, which I was gonna bring once I return to UP. So that was really my initial plan talaga,
Mm.
to get better and then return into UP to be a better leader, to be a better overall player,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can help the team more.
Yeah, for sure that you could have achieved that, I believe, if there was no pandemic. I mean, you guys were doing
Yeah,
well at the 90 sports tent. I saw you guys playing well as a team with all the great players like Jamie Malonzo, Mikey Williams, Ronaldo
yeah.
Bauman, and sila Andre
That was a
Blackface.
super team.
Yes,
Crazy.
super team talaga. And you guys had spurts that you were unstoppable, like against any opponent. And even if sometimes the games were like madaling araw na dito, I just watched the highlights and I could see na talagang solid yung laro niyo nun. And yung Marinerong also, like you guys were playing well, pero I think ilang games pa lang di na nga natuloy. Pero it was a great plan that you had, and you said you were supposed to
Yeah.
play nga for UP, pero the pandemic prolonged everything, and you needed to make another decision. But then I'm curious because I guested Kinito Henson, like one of my first guests, and I think that was before the PBA draft, and he mentioned that you guys were considering joining, like you and one. So how close were you to actually applying for the draft and that during that time before deciding not to and eventually going to Gilas and joining Japan?
Actually, I really thought about it. Like, if teams contacted me, I was really
Mm-hmm.
gauging if I land top three or top three, one, two, or three,
Hmm.
I was gonna apply in the draft. But I think you
Oh,
know,
okay.
I won't mention the team, but this team was like wanted to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
me at sixth pick or seventh pick. You know, I told
Mm.
myself, I'm not, I'm not contented with just being a sixth pick. So,
Mm-hmm.
so yun, parang when I found out that parang maybe like if I wasn't gonna be in the top three, then maybe I won't join muna.
Mm.
And also kasi I really had that time I really had hopes playing abroad. So yeah, but it's just really almost a close decision because that time 1 year unemployed already. I we
Uh,
we, just, we need earning. You know, it's really hard. There was tough times, pandemic really. So I was just almost that close to joining the 2021 PBA draft, and I mean the
Mhm.
2020 and the 2021 PBA draft. I was almost close joining those two drafts, but there's just something that telling me to, you know, just wait a little longer.
Uh, yeah, and you also mentioned there was also a mention of your dad of Coach Mark Dickel nga that it was tough for you to also accept the last cut in the Gilas program, and you mentioned nga a lot about the Gilas like with Coach Tab you improved, pero yun nga with Coach Mark unfortunately hindi ka nga nakuha nung February 2020 window if I remember correctly against Indonesia,
Yeah,
and
the first window.
you were like
Yeah,
yeah, you were like very motivated now to continue proving yourself that you deserve a spot in the final 12 for the following windows, which did happen with Coach Tab already in November 2020, and you performed well when you made like numerous 3-point shots against Thailand. How was that old mindset of you wanting to bounce back and actually prove yourself? And talagang you worked on your body nga daw, ikaw na mismo yung gumawa ng mga routines mo,
yeah.
how to improve on your body, your game. How was that in terms of accepting it and then finally recovering from the sadness or the tough time that you had?
I had mixed feelings, to be honest. Being invited during that first window, 2020, that was with PBA superstars and with collegiate superstars like Silo Juan, uh, Kobe, and that time I didn't really consider myself as a superstar, to be honest, because during my season I didn't feel like I played like a superstar. So you
Mm-hmm.
know, so at the start of the camp, I felt like okay, maybe they just added me just to have more depth in the youth.
Mm-hmm.
Pero like during the during the during the training moments, I could say I performed well, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
I did a good job playing with the PBA players, matching up with them. I felt like I had a good chance. So I think it led to the last cut. And initially, um, what else? Just wait up. Sorry. Yeah. That time. Sorry. That time. Where was I? Sorry. Um.
Yung last cut sa Gilas.
Yeah. Yeah. So. So that time when I got cut, parang I felt. You know. I felt like I deserved the chance, pero for whatever reason, I didn't make it. Pero that time also Coach Mark Dickel talked to me. He told me that, for me to improve my game, I had to transition. That time kasi I already transitioned my game to become a shooting guard. Pero I just limited myself to be a shooter. Like I didn't really, because of course it was with the PBA players. So parang nahiya ako magdala
Yeah.
ng bola. So, I
Uh-uh.
was just there in the corners, in the wings,
Mm.
tira pasa, ganun lang. Told me I need to, you know, uh, be more aggressive. And that time kasi, um, I was overweight actually. At 6'5", I was around 230 pounds. So,
Mm.
it really slowed my game down. So, yeah, he told me what to improve on. So, you know, So that was February, and then the next window was in November in Bahrain. So during
Mm.
those months, I mean the next 6 months, 7 months, I told myself I have to be dedicated to improve on these things. So
Mm.
slowly by slowly, I uh, started being in a diet. I started working out on the things that I needed to improve on. Started to work on my ball handling, being aggressive, basically the things that Coach Mark told me. And I'm grateful
Mhm.
for Coach Mark because you know how it is in the Philippines. To be honest, like when once a coach cuts you from whatever team, they're not gonna say why. They're not gonna say
Yeah,
why
yeah,
he
yeah.
cut. Well, like they care
Yeah.
less. But
Mm.
for some reason, Coach Mark he talked to me. He said that I
Mhm.
was a good player, but you know he told me to improve on these things because he said that he wants to see me back in this camp by November. He wants to see me improve, you
Mm.
know, but to see a kind of me once the second window comes. So yeah, I was motivated even though nakat ako. I was really excited to change my lifestyle for the betterment. Yeah, so
Yeah, halata na nga naman yung improvement mo talaga. Like yung Thailand nung pinalaro ka with that minutes against the second game yata, yung talagang nag-flourish ka as in your role. And sayang nga lang di na tuloy-tuloy. And there were also like some people, like including me, there were dun sa window against Korea and Indonesia, the one here in Clark, you also didn't get like the most minutes that people think you could have deserved, especially in some of the other games like yung Indonesia, you could have played more, or yung ibang Korea games, hindi ka
it
masyado
was
napasok.
tough.
Yeah, it was tough. How was that naman for you in terms of yeah, mentally accepting it? Kasi nga, yun nga, umakyat ka na kasi Coach Mark taught you, tapos sa Thailand, it was you were
Yeah.
really good na. Pero mahirap tanggapin nga na limited minutes ka ulit. How was that for you naman? Was it like ang gulo-gulo na?
No, parang at first I didn't know why, but
Hmm.
that was my worst, like my mental health. That time, I was full load with I was teaching, coaching, and playing because in our college, it was a requirement to coach a basketball camp and also to teach.
Hmm.
I was teaching like four subjects that time, so
Hmm.
every day,
Hmm.
imagine I had to skip a couple of trainings
Hmm.
because of my workload in school. So that was my last sem before I graduated. That was really the
Hmm.
most super burnout ako that time. I couldn't really give my best sa training. Tapos, that time, nadagdag pa, I strained my jumper's knee. So I was
Oh,
basically,
okay.
so before heading to that bubble, go for the Pampanga qualifiers, I was like 2 months out. Like I was just
Hmm.
rehab. I didn't tell the coaches this anymore because I didn't want to make excuses, but it was really hard. That was a hard time for me to um to bounce back. I understood that I accepted that my performance would have went down. So maybe that was the reason why I didn't play a lot of minutes in the Korea.
Hmm.
And to be honest, I really got shocked that I had two DNPs. That's
Hmm.
really that's tough because in the bubble I felt like I even though with my injury and with my workload, I felt like I still did well.
Hmm.
But then again, I've been through this situation before. Like, I just had to control what you can control. Uh, yeah. So it's also frustrating for me during that time, especially the first game against Korea. I did not play, but it is what it is. I told myself I just have to um get back to work, be in my best shape again. So after those games in Pampanga, uh, they sent me home. I got cut for the Serbia games in Belgrade.
Yeah. OQT.
So
Yeah.
yun, so it was added motivation again to what already motivates me. I had to, you know, I need to work harder. Basically, I need
Hmm.
I need to work harder to prove myself again. Yeah,
At least you don't lose hope, because some players, they could easily just give up with all the hardships that you endured like
super.
throughout your career, from high school, college, hanggang gilas. Madami ng pinagdaanan, pero dapat yun yung
Super.
mapulot ng mga tao, to not give up talaga and still
It's
continue
the worst thing
striving.
ever.
Yeah. But
Being
if you
cut
love what
and
you do, keep doing it, diba?
yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying that
You
this
can go
really
ahead.
it's basically like in other terms like getting fired from your job, being cut from the
Mm.
team, and sometimes you don't even know why,
Mm-hmm.
but that's just life. It happens. You have to move forward agad. Don't. Well, to be honest, na-hurt ako for a while, for a bit, but I told myself I have to, you know, it's still gonna be there, and I just have to work my way up again. And hopefully this year I get a call up again. I'll just be ready at all times.
Yeah. So, yung isa pang magandang part na gusto kong tanungin about the whole career that you have is the B-League stint nga. Then people are saying na like not don't watch the PBA na everyone's just going to the B-League because that's where all the college superstars are going. Like you guys and even Ray Parks, he was in the pros already, Kiefer. But then the others like yan sila Dwight, you won 30, you guys decided to play there over in the PBA. So ano naman yung parang opinion mo or stance mo on people saying na it's the better option na talaga to play in the PBA? Kasi for me, like, you're just going there to get your opportunity, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to go to the PBA forever or you dislike the PBA. Pero for you, what's your opinion on it?
Um, I really don't mind playing wherever. It's just that it depends on the person on what he aspires to be. Like me, when I was
Mm-hmm.
a kid or when I was in high school, I really dreamt of playing abroad. So gets ba?
Mm-hmm.
Parang
Mm-hmm. Gets
para
it.
di ko lang inisip na hangga't PBA lang eh. So it depends on someone's
Mm-hmm.
goal. Like I don't know what my teammates' goals are, but
Mm-hmm.
if their goal is to play in the PBA, then good for them. Why not, right? But
Mm-hmm.
for players like me who plan, who dream and work, who want to play abroad, then there's nothing wrong with that because that's our goal. That's our dream, and we're just doing what we can to achieve that dream. And in terms of opportunity, they're both good opportunities, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But yun nga, someone like me who aspires to play abroad, then this is the greater opportunity. You get to play abroad, and it's Japan. It's a first world country. Ev- Everyone
Mm-hmm.
wants. I mean, I think Japan is one of the best countries out there.
Yeah. So for the final few questions, these are certain questions that I ask my guests also. And yeah, I just want to thank you, Javi, for joining me here again on my podcast. For the final few questions, and I'm not sure if you watched the NBA bubble a lot, in the 2020 NBA bubble when the Lakers won. The players were very
Yeah,
vocal on social issues, and also in the elections, they were very adamant on what their stance was, teaching people how to vote, educating them on the stances of certain candidates, and yeah, giving them the opportunity to vote and make a change in the country. So here in the Philippines, it's almost election also, and people aren't like athletes could also have a huge impact on the voting or even its social or
yeah,
political issues because you guys have a lot of following and you guys are able to influence others through your social media or through your media interviews or your posts. So, what are your thoughts on athletes here in the country being vocal or being expressing their views and opinions in regards to social political issues and even educating their followers in regards to the elections and who to vote for, how to vote, and all these things?
yeah. Sadly, no, in the Philippines, it's different in in the USA because here, when you speak your mind, matik na mag-hate sa'yo eh. Like, how it
Oh,
is on Twitter. Once you
mm,
speak something that you believe or like, in political, let's say in political aspect, if you vote for this
mm,
guy or if you believe this someone is the one, you'll get a hate for whatever you say, what good or bad.
mm,
Because sometimes it's hard for, that's why sometimes some athletes just choose to be quiet because whatever they say, lagi, someone will always have to say with what
mm,
we think. And, to the ones who, and I see some athletes naman din na speaking their minds, and it's also good. They don't care about the bashers.
mm,
Yun, so sa akin naman, like, you know, as long as, I'm doing my job, uh, being a voter, being well educated, using my platform well, then I think I think there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. And I don't think then kasi like example, Twitter is a app to speak your mind. Dati naman, how Twitter was like 10 years ago compared to now, it's totally
Yeah,
different. Dati sa
for
Twitter,
sure.
puro good vibes lang, puro positive
Mm.
eh. Ngayon, nagiging
Mm.
negative na eh because of,
Murahan lang. Ganun.
for what,
Mm.
for what people always judge what you say. So,
Mm.
it's hard. It's really hard for public figures to speak their minds
Yeah,
because, whether, you know, whether right or wrong, people always have something to say.
it's a great mindset for you though to still have your values firm and just do your own thing if even if you decide not to be as vocal as like the Americans in regards to the NBA players and when they were being vocal because yeah here medyo madaming magja-judge sa'yo talaga so it's really a thing you can move away from if just you're doing your own thing you're not doing anything wrong. So
Yeah,
for the second to the last question, I'm not sure if you watch All the Smoke, the podcast named Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. They ask
yeah.
their guests,
Even
if you have five dinner guests, dead or alive, who would you choose?
dead or alive. First it'll be uh LeBron James and probably uh like to meet Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good president,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's already two. Then three would be, it's tough, I never thought about
Yeah.
this. Three would be sa Philippines, sino kaya? Um, Cory Aquino, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
the late Cory Aquino.
Mm-hmm.
For um 4 and 5, probably my my relatives who I don't even know, maybe my great grandparents. I'd like to
Ah,
meet them
okay.
one day.
Yeah. So for the final
Sorry,
question,
it's just random.
yeah, it's fine. It's always random naman for all my guests, so it doesn't matter. It's fine. So for the final question, I usually ask my guests since like I just invite all my guests through the social media. I message them and then they reply and then we schedule an interview. That's how I don't really have any connections in regards to inviting athletes or coaches or media personnel here on my podcast. So I wanted to ask who would you suggest that I should invite here on the DVD show that would have a great story to tell and great person to talk to in regards to his career or his journey?
Ah, um, uh, uh, I don't know. Siguro friends na lang, no? Since basically, me and my bros and my family. Siguro,
Mm.
uh, the ones I've been working out with, si Will Gozum and JD
Mm.
Tungkam. Like, those guys, if you consider me as an underdog, those
Mm.
guys are really much, like, those guys have more experience, from what it's like being on the bottom, because
Mm.
you know those are very good, talented superstars, but just didn't get the opportunity along with, I mean, when we were teammates. But now, you know I've been playing with Will. He's changed. He's like a new version. Like,
Mm.
similar to like me. He's like a big guard, but
Yeah.
then his package is totally different now. And the same with JD. JD was always by my side. We were teammates in UP and Gilas, and we were both always, um we were like, we experienced the same thing. Being the final cut, not being used in the games, being through those tough times. I'm pretty sure they also have a nice story to tell.
So yeah, thank you for suggesting those players, and then I'll try to contact them soon. And but then thank you again, Javi, for joining me here on the podcast. It was a great conversation to learn a lot about your story, and some of your stories weren't like well publicized yet, and I learned a lot. It's not like a lot of people will also learn from it, and I really like the way you told the story, especially the tough times because pretty sure a lot of people are going through a lot now in this pandemic, and they can learn a lot from you and how you still remained motivated and inspired with your whole career, and despite all the hardships and obstacles that you encountered. But then, do you have any final message before you go?
Yeah, thanks to all the viewers of Diego, and continue to support him, and yeah, it's nice meeting you too, bro. First time.
Nice
Uh,
meeting you. Yeah.
yeah, more power to you, bro. That's all. And yeah, see you soon. And hope to see you in the big stages.
Hopefully, I'll really try my best to do that. And before you go, is it okay if we take a picture?
Yeah, bro. For sure.
Okay, I'll take it from here. One, two, three. All right, Javi, thanks for joining me here again on the DVD show, and good luck in Japan and stay safe.